Hello kids, I'm Sonali Kelkar from City International School and today we are going to start the revision. Today we are going to do the revision of life processes, right? So this will be the final revision of life processes and after that we are going to start a new chapter. Okay, so let's start with the revision. Here I'm going to take 5 questions of 5 marks, right? Here's the question number 1. Identify any two parts from the above diagram which carry oxygenated blood. So let's start with the oxygenated blood and any two which carry deoxygenated blood. Okay, so you have to find out the two parts of our diagram which carry oxygenated blood and any two which carries deoxygenated blood, right? And then what you have to do, draw a flow chart to represent the process of double circulation in human body. So let's do our the first question, the first part of the question. Now first let us see which all parts are given here. A. Now what is A? This is the right part of the heart, this is the left part of the heart. Let's divide the heart into two parts, right? Okay, so this is what the septum is. Now this will be my right ventricle, R ventricle, right ventricle, right? Ventricle. This is my right ventricle. The handwriting is not coming that great. Okay, and B is left ventricle, right? This is left ventricle, left ventricle. I'm just writing LV, left ventricle here. This is my right atrium, RA. I'm writing a short form, children, over here. Okay, right atrium, and this is my left atrium, left atrium. And as you all know, the right part of the blood will always have what type of blood? Deoxygenated blood. What do you mean by deoxygenated blood and what do you mean by oxygenated blood? Let's see. Okay, so deoxygenated blood means a blood in which more amount of carbon dioxide is dissolved, right? It has more amount of carbon dioxide, whereas in oxygenated blood it has more amount of oxygen. Okay, so my right side of the heart will always have deoxygenated blood and my left side of the heart will always have oxygenated blood, right? So now let's see, identify two parts of the above diagram which carry oxygenated blood. So definitely from the left part of my heart there will be two blood vessels which carry oxygenated blood. So here comes, this is a blood vessel, D is aorta, so definitely it is carrying oxygenated blood, right? And blood is coming to the left part, so this part is having oxygenated blood, right? So it is coming through what? It is coming through pulmonary vein, right? So let's come to the deoxygenated blood, that is on the right part of my heart, right? So these two, vena cava, right, inferior vena cava and superior vena cava. So these two blood vessels will carry deoxygenated blood. Superior vena cava collects blood from the lower part of the body. Inferior vena cava, this is inferior vena cava, collects blood from the lower part of the body. Superior vena cava, SV, should I write SV, superior vena cava, collects blood from the upper part of the body. Okay, and what is D? This is your blood vessel which is going away from heart, right? Sorry, D is aorta, that we have discussed. This is aorta. Aorta is the largest blood vessels, it carries oxygenated blood. Now C is taking blood away from heart. So A for artery and A for away. So C is carrying deoxygenated blood. You can see that this part of the blood vessels is arising from the right part of the heart. So definitely it will carry deoxygenated blood, and this deoxygenated blood will be sent to the lungs. Okay, two lobes of the lungs. So this is what? This is pulmonary artery, right? This is the only artery which carries deoxygenated blood. This is pulmonary artery. So we have done, I think we have done with this question. We found out oxygenated blood and deoxygenated blood carrying blood vessels. Okay, now draw a flow chart to represent the process of double circulation. So what do you mean by double circulation? Okay, now double circulation is a circulation, okay, where blood is coming to the heart twice. Okay, blood is coming to the heart twice and blood is two times going out of the heart. That means blood is taking two circulations from the heart. Two circuits are formed, okay, in double circulation. So let's see how the two circulation is formed in the double circulation. I'll make a rough diagram, children. I'm trying to make a beautiful diagram. I'm trying hard to make a diagram. Fine. Okay, if this is my heart, so let me divide this heart into four lobes, right? These are the ventricle, sorry, these are the valves, atrioventricle valves, and these are the different valves. Okay. Tricuspid valve and bicuspid valve. Atrioventricle valve because they are present on the junction of atrium and ventricle, right? So we also call atrioventricle valves, and they are bicuspid valve. Okay, okay, fine. So heart is done. So let me make 1, 2, 3 and 4. Let me draw 4 chambers of heart, right? Okay, now lungs are here. Here lungs, and down I will make, you just have to draw a flow chart, so you don't have to draw a body for, and neither you have to draw lungs over here. So it is just, you have to write in a box, right, in a better manner. Fine. Now let's see how blood flows. So let's see how the blood flow from your right side of heart. As I know, as I told you, that right side of the heart has deoxygenated blood. So from my right atrium, blood will go to lungs because this is deoxygenated blood. The blood will go to lungs to get oxygenated. Okay, here in the lungs, oxygen will be taken in and the carbon dioxide is throwing out of the body, right? So the deoxygenated blood will go to lungs, become oxygenated blood. Okay, from here the blood has gone out to heart, sorry, to lungs, and from here, from lungs, blood is coming back to heart. So my one circuit is completed, isn't it? Coming back to heart. So it is coming on the left part, and specifically if I say, it is coming to the left atrium. Okay, so oxygenated blood. So here I will write O2 just to say oxygenated blood. You don't have to write, just to make you understand I am writing here. This is deoxygenated blood. It means it has, blood has more amount of carbon dioxide. Okay, here the blood has more amount of oxygen. Okay, so oxygen. So one circulation is completed, and let's see the second circulation, right? And from the left ventricle, okay, let me draw like, from the left ventricle, this oxygenated blood is sent to body. This blood is given to body, oxygenated blood is given to body. Okay, through which vessel? Through aorta. Then in the body, all the cells of the body will use the oxygenated blood, use the oxygen of the oxygenated blood, and then again a deoxygenated blood will be given back to heart. Okay, so blood is again going back to the heart, it is going back to the heart, right? So this is where we have completed. Clear, student? uh, Let me, okay, here I just want to, okay, from the right ventricle, let me take blood, okay, from the right ventricle blood is going to lungs, and from the body the deoxygenated lung is going to the right atrium, right? So the oxygenated blood is going to the right atrium, okay, and so here the two circuit is completed. The first circuit is known as pulmonary circuit because it is related with the pulmonary, this is what, a pulmonary artery and pulmonary vein, so we call it pulmonary circuit, and the later is related with the body, right? So this is known as systemic circuit, okay. So let's have a detailed look of the answer. Let me okay, rub the whole answer. Okay, here you can see the answer, right? So E is right atrium, A is right ventricle, C is pulmonary artery, right, and carry deoxygenated blood. F is left atrium, B is left ventricle, and D is aorta. These all carries oxygenated and deoxygenated blood, right? So I'll just rub this so that you can do it by your own. I've explained you, so for the explanation I have used my pen, right? Okay, and here is your double circulation uh, diagram, right? Here is a double circulation diagram. So blood has entered in the heart twice, okay, it has make one complete circle, that is it has gone to lung, deoxygenated blood, and there it get oxygenated and coming back to the heart, okay, and from heart again oxygenated blood going to body, different body organs and cells have used that blood, okay, again the deoxygenated blood, okay, from vena cava, this is collected and going back to the right atrium. So here we have completed this question. Now the other question, define excretion. So how do you define excretion? Excretion is a process in which metabolic waste is removed from our body, okay. So and if in even if you want to be more specific, you can use a nitrogenous waste is removed in the process of excretion. Basically in human beings we consider that uh, the kidney and the different organs related with the formation of urine and excretion of urine is basically we consider that as a excretion, but excretion is removal of metabolic waste, okay. That is a broad definition, right? So in metabolic waste even carbon dioxide comes, right, and sweat also comes in metabolic waste. Then name the basic filtration unit present in kidney. Now what is the answer for this? Nephron, right? Nephron. Don't get confused between neuron and nephron. Students usually get confused between neuron and nephron. So nephron is a basic filtration unit present in kidney. There are millions and millions of nephron in your kidneys, and these nephron collect, urine in a small drop, and that urine you urinate during the time, okay, you feel like to urinate, fine. So then draw the excretory system in human being and label the organs which perform the following functions. Form urine, so kidney you have to draw where the urine is formed, kidney, so you need to draw kidney, a long tube which connects urine from the kidney, that is ureter. Then store kidney until it passes out of the body, that is urinary bladder. So I will try to draw a rough diagram of this. So this is my kidney, right? This is another kidney, As you all know, this is right kidney corresponding to your right hand. This is left kidney corresponding to your left hand. Right, your right kidney little down. Why? Because there is a liver over here. Okay, because of the liver position here, so this kidney is little down. And from kidney comes out ureter, right? Ureter, right? And which collects urine from both the kidney, and then this urine is stored in urinary bladder for some time until you feel urge to go to urine, and then it is coming out through urethra. Okay, so this is all. You have to label the diagram also. I have drawn a rough diagram over here, right? So here are the answers. Excretion is the process by which metabolic wastes are eliminated from the body of organism. Okay. Then nephron is the basic filtration unit present in kidney. We have discussed. Then we have drawn the diagram of kidney, ureter, urinary bladder. You have to label the diagram. You have to make a beautiful diagram like this. Clear? Here I'll just erase what I have drawn. Right. Okay. So this is what second question. Let's go to the third question. Draw the well-labeled diagram of the human digestive system. Mention the role of following in digestion. So you need to draw a well-labeled diagram of digestive system, and you have to mention the role of bile and HCl and salivary amylase, right? So I'll try to draw a diagram of digestive system, right? So it basically starts from mouth, right, and back it will go. Okay, and this is esophagus, right, and then it will be what you call stomach, J-shaped stomach, right, and then from there a C-shaped duodenum is arising, right, and then after that, okay, this is my large intestine. Why do I call large intestine? Because it has greater diameter as compared to the small intestine. Okay, so let me make small intestine here. Okay, a highly coiled part of your body, right? Here is appendix, and there comes rectum, and then anus. At the end of anus there is a sphincter. So, and you can show liver here, a triangular, approximately triangular shaped liver, and underneath gallbladder, and the very important organ pancreas. Okay, so it is almost a rough diagram of digestive system. Then you have to label the diagram. Now what is the role of bile? Bile is coming out from liver, right? And what is the role? It emulsification of fat. Now what do you mean by emulsification? That is breaking down of large flat globules into the smaller fat globules. Okay, so that that flat globules can be acted by enzyme, right? So it increases the surface area by dividing a large flat globules into small globules, right? And this also changes the media of food, right? Chyme which is coming out from stomach, okay, it is acidic in nature, right? So it has to be changed into a basic nature. Okay, why? Because the pancreatic enzymes and intestinal enzymes will act only in a basic nature, right? They become active when the medium is basic. Okay, so that is why it is important to make the medium alkaline, so that the pancreatic and intestinal enzymes can act efficiently, right? Salivary amylase, what is having a salivary amylase is, okay, it digests I can say starch or carbohydrate. Okay, uh, they usually digest monosaccharide. Okay, uh, carbohydrates over here, so that the digestion start basically from mouth, and they act on carbohydrate, right? So that is why that is the role of salivary amylase, right? So let's see the answer. Bile helps in the emulsification of fat. HCl, okay, I haven't mentioned HCl. HCl kills germs in food. It also changes the pH value of food over here, or pH value of chyme, right? So that pepsinogen acts in a better way. Okay, so pepsinogen changes into a active pepsin, and this active pepsin act on proteins, right? So that is also important. Then creates acidic medium in which pepsin can be active to digest protein. Amylase breaks down starch into simple sugars in mouth, right? So simple sugars means a monosaccharide and disaccharide, right? This sugar can be formed due to the salivary amylase. Okay, so this is a diagram, a proper diagram of digestive system. Okay, so I'll rub my diagram. Fine. Here we have they have shown everything is labeled well. So this is how you have to draw the diagram, a well labeled diagram, right? And you should be very careful when you label the diagram. Okay, so, okay, and try to label the diagram at you know at one level. Okay, so let's see the next question. What happened to the leaves of the healthy potted plant were coated with petroleum jelly? Okay, so if I coat a plant with petroleum jelly, what can happen? What can you think? Okay, what are the things which can happen when you coat a plant with petroleum jelly? Let's, if I coat this leaf with petroleum jelly, what will happen? Okay, then there won't be any transpiration taking place. Transpiration won't take place, right? And there won't be any exchange of gases, right? Exchange of gases means carbon dioxide won't able to come inside, because you have already blocked, you know, the passage, right? That is, you have blocked stomatal opening with petroleum jelly, so there won't be exchange of gases, there won't be any transpiration, no transpiration taking place, okay, in these type of plants. And what will happen then? Eventually plant won't able to do photosynthesis, right? And transpiration is very important for the transfer of for the movement of water. Have you uh, recollected movement of water in huge plants and big plants, the suction process, right? That won't takes place, right? Because transpiration is a very important part of the suction, right? So that won't happen. So what will happen? So eventually plant will die. Okay, so now what are the different pathways in which glucose is broken down to provide energy in different organism? This I will explain you with the help of a diagram, right? We have already discussed, but let me take the help of a diagram first, then I'll explain you, right? So let's have a look of the first answer. If the leaves of the healthy potted plants were coated with petroleum jelly, uh, the following would occur. Transpiration cannot happen. Okay, exchange of gases cannot happen, and hence photosynthesis and respiration would be blocked. Right. Sunlight cannot be received. As a result, the plants do not remain healthy for long. Perfect. Here comes the pathway, different pathway. Okay, now this we did in a respiration process where the glucose is broken down. As we all know, the glucose, what is the formula of glucose? C6H12 and O6, right? So definitely, how many glucose, how many carbon elements are present here? How many carbon atoms are present here? 6 carbon molecules are present here, right? When they, you know that all these 6 carbon atoms, right, they are bonded with bond, right? When you break this bond, energy is released. Okay, So what happened in the process of respiration? This glucose is broken down from 6 carbon, okay, to 3 carbon molecule. But where this is taking place? In cytoplasm. If I draw a cell, right, if I draw a cell, here is the nucleus and here is the cytoplasm, right? So the breakdown of glucose into pyruvate, that is 3 carbon molecule, is taking place in the cytoplasm, right, in the cytoplasm of cell. So there is only half breaking down, okay, half oxidation is taking place. Then what happened further? In absence of oxygen, yeast will produce ethanol, carbon dioxide and energy. And in lack of oxygen, human cells will give lactic acid and energy. How much energy over here? 2 ATP, right? 2 ATP, right? And how much energy over here? Same, 2 ATP, ATP. Clear? Okay. And what happened? In the presence of oxygen, then this pyruvate will be divided into carbon dioxide, water and energy. How many energy? 38 ATP is released. So there is a complete ATP. There is a complete oxidation of glucose taking place. You can see only one carbon is left. Only one carbon is left. So there is a complete oxidation of glucose. So when there is a complete oxidation of glucose, so definitely more energy is released. Clear? So these are the 3 pathways of breaking down of glucose, right? It is very important question. Let's have a look at question number 5. Name the respiratory pigment in human beings. Now what are the respiratory pigment? What is the respiratory pigment in human beings, students? That is hemoglobin. Yes. And where it is found? It is found in RBCs. Are they found in RBCs or WBCs? Yes, it is found in RBCs, right? Now, mention the functions of lymph in the human body. What is the function of lymph in the human body? As I told you, lymph has lymphocytes, so definitely it is responsible to kill germs. So, indirectly or directly, they are responsible for the immunity of a body. Then, lymph, it collects the interstitial fluid. Okay, so this tissue fluids which are present in the tissues, in the different gaps in between the tissues, they get collected and they form lymph, right? And then lymph, it is very important for the absorption of fat in villi. Okay, so these are the 3 major functions of lymph. Then write 2 major points of difference between autotrophic and heterotrophic mode of nutrition. As we know that autotrophic means they make their own food. All green plants, with the help of chlorophyll, by the process of photosynthesis, they make their own food. And what is important for the process of photosynthesis, children? Sunlight. Okay, so let's see what is there in heterotrophic. Heterotrophics, these in this mode of nutrition, they don't make their own food, they don't prepare their own food. Is it possible for us to prepare our food with the help of carbon dioxide and water? Absolutely not, right? So we get food from autotrophic, that is we get food from green plants, right? And do we require sunlight for that? If I stand outside the sunlight, can it be, is it possible for me to make my own food? No. Okay, sunlight is not required here. So definitely these are the 2 important points. And then in the last point you can give the example, but example are not included in point, just remember. Okay, so let's have a look at the answer. Right here the answer, respiratory pigment in human being is hemoglobin. It is found in red blood cells. Function of lymph in human body includes return of tissue fluid from interstitial spaces into the blood. Okay, all the tissue fluid, it is returned back to the blood. Okay, now what do you mean by tissue fluid? Now when blood passes through blood capillaries, it squeezes out through blood capillaries, okay, except the RBCs, rest of the plasma including WBCs, okay, that is in your tissue fluid. Okay, this tissue fluid then gives oxygen to the cells and nutrient to the cells, and what it does, okay, in return it takes carbon dioxide and waste product from the cells, right, and it again take and give it back to the lymph before lymph enters into your main vein, right. So this is what is a function of lymph. Then absorption of fat through lacteals in intestine, then providing immunity due to the presence of lymphocytes. That lymphocyte is a component of WBCs, right. So this is all about this part of the question. Now the difference between autotrophic nutrition and heterotrophic nutrition. Here we can see autotrophic nutrition, that is these organisms synthesize their own food from inorganic raw material. Inorganic raw material is carbon dioxide and water here. Heterotrophic nutrition depends on autotrophs to meet food requirements. Then sunlight is inevitable, that means very important. Sunlight is not required, we don't require sunlight, we don't require sunlight in a sense, we require sunlight for the other purposes, right. Then example, green plants and some bacteria, these bacteria are cyanobacteria or blue green algae, right. And here the animals and protists, right. These are the example heterotrophic. You can write down fungi also, right. So this is all about today's session. I have tried my level best to uh, clear the concepts, and this is all about today's session, students. Thank you so much, and practice today's topic.